Welcome to IFERP, a forum where innovations and research interest could be supported and developed, prioritizing our mutual interest. In this video, we want you to dive into our world, giving yourself a clear insight into IFERP. But first, who are we and what do we do? Institute for Engineering Research and Publication, IFERP for short, is one of the world's largest non-profitable professional associations operating under the Techno-Elite Research and Development Association, TRADA, meant for research and development in the field of engineering, science and technology. We are one of the largest professional bodies for engineering professionals in India and across the globe, established in 2014. We extend to every part of the globe with more than 28,000 professional members and 34,000 student members. Our growing membership at IFERP has led to an increase in members from Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa and the USA, fostering networking opportunities that strengthen ties within and across countries and technical communities. The mission of IFERP is to connect professionals at an integrated platform for growth to divert knowledge and skills towards the sustainable application of professional education and more. And our vision of digitalizing innovation processes through our professional networking services and more has pushed us forward to our achievements today. With our mission to make our academic services reach the top and grassroots level of institutions, we are funding colleges to organize conferences and scientific events, enabling researchers incubated at different areas of our country to directly contribute towards the transformation of India. IFERP simply connects engineers, exchange global innovation, and acts as a bridge between researchers and academics by organizing international conferences, world conferences, faculty development programs, webinars, seminars, providing membership, and more. Some of our conferences include WCASET Malaysia, WCASET Jakarta, ICAS ETAM APU Malaysia, and many more. We've also organised scientific events in association with renowned universities done in the past, with over 28,593 journal publication services, creating opportunities to get your research paper published in high impact factor journals such as Scopus Indexed, Web of Science, Google Scholar Index journals, ESCI, UGC approved, L Compandax, ISI, Shimago Index journals, and many more. To make our operations smoother and more perfect, we have been supported by our associated organisation, Association of Cloud Technologists, Global Association of Nanotechnology, International Association for Big Data Analysts, International Association for IoT, International Wireless Network Association, and World Association for Structural Engineers. We have also worked alongside several clients and partners both nationally and internationally like University Malaysia Sabah, APU Malaysia, UNJ Jakarta, MC University Thailand, Ajman University Dubai, PUP Philippines, IIUM Malaysia, ISU Philippines, FCPC Philippines, WCC Philippines SRM University, GORADIYA University, Amity University, and much more government and private organisations in different countries. At IFERP, we believe that there's always a better way to treat professionals, and that is what we do. If you would like to see more or go deeper on IFERP, you can visit our website at www.iferp.in.
Hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to our webinar on Wearable Electronics Technology and Challenges organized by Institute of Engineering Research and Publication, IFERP, and our academic partner, United Innovators. Thank you all for joining us today. And today we have been joined here by Dr. BHARGAV GORADIYA. Hello, sir.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am.
Hello. Good evening, sir. How are you?
So I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for joining us today. And welcome to all the attendees once again for joining us. And before we begin, I would like to introduce to you our speaker of the day, Dr. BHARGAV GORADIYA. He is a professor and head of Department of Electronics and Communication from BM Engineering College, India. He is a seasoned academician having more than 2 decades of experience. Presently, Dr. GORADIYA, he is professor and head of Electronics and Communication Engineering Department at BVM Engineering College. He is also vice president of BVM Central Committee and board member in BVM Board of Governance. He holds many prestigious positions in academics at institute and university. He is having keen interest of developing sustainable, affordable, low-cost, and robust solutions for smart cities. His area of interest is towards embedded system designing, machine learning, IoT, and medical electronics. He was instrumental in fetching World Bank-supported MHRD Tech IP2 grant of rupees 10 crore at BVM. Dr. GORADIYA was pioneer in promoting the entrepreneurship and has established BVM Incubation Center for promoting student startup activities. Under his leadership, BVM has received fund of rupees 1.2 crore for the student startup and innovation policy from the Education Department, Government of Gujarat. He is having strong belief that engineering education is not within 4 walls of classroom, but in constant and continuous interaction with industries. He has set up Center of Excellence in the domain of IoT infrastructure in association with System Level Solutions, SLS, at BVM. Dr. GORADIYA has published more than 30 research papers in national and international journals and conferences. He is also an editorial member and advisory member in many reputed journals. And he has received many accolades such as Best Paper Award in ICRI SCT 2020, Convener Atmanirbhar Bharat Ideathon and Hackathon 2020. He has been convener at BVM hosted Institute for Gujarat Industrial Hackathon in 2019 as well as 2018, and Award for Excellence in Startups and Students Innovation Practices in 2018. Outstanding Participation Award in Startup Yatra by CIIE in 2017, and Award for Best Student Supporting Activity by GTU in 2017, and BVM NIRF Nodal Officer BVM listed in top 200 institutions in the year 2017. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today evening. It's an absolute honor to have you today here.
Thank you very much, Jazila, for your kind introduction. I'm glad
Thank
to
you,
be part
sir.
of this
You're most
webinar.
welcome.
I'm glad to be part
Yes,
of this
sir.
webinar. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Without any delay, we may move on to the presentation, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Hello, good evening, one and all. So I hope my presentation screen is visible.
Yes, sir. It's clear and visible. You may begin, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. So once again, good evening to one and all. Today, I'm thankful to IFERP for providing this opportunity to share the topic of wearable electronics technology and challenges with you. So as the name suggests, that wearable electronics, this is what I'm going to discuss with you, and maybe most of the time you are aware that wearable technology will be starting with introduction, background, technology, working, challenges, application, future trend. I'll be also discussing a bit of related to scope of research and what is the way ahead. So first and foremost, as we all know that anything that can be worn on the body, usually we call this as wearable. Combining this wearable and along with the electronics, the term wearable electronics is nowadays very popular amongst young and budding technocrats. So recent past, in the last decade, the term has been utilized quite extensively by many of us. So ideally, when you say that wearable electronics, how do you define it? So naturally, as compared to our conventional electronic system, usually this system is also having some kind of intelligence and able to access certain set of inputs, process that input, and providing some meaningful output. So whenever we say that wearable electronics, it is not a different kind of system, but only benefit of wearable electronics is that it can be fitted into any part of the body, right? As well as the compactness is one of the key components of it. So wearable electronics are nothing but the products which implement electronic technology as well as having computing capability. So with this basic introduction, let me introduce some of the fundamental wearable things that we have been using since last 5-7 years or last decade. So some of the common popular brands, some of the common popular things that we have been using is like Fitbits, Fitbands. We do have come across with smart glasses. Many of us are already using various technologies related to medical equipment, which can be fitted into the body or can be on the body. We have been quite since long we have been using pacemaker and hearing aids for the medical devices, and since last decade we have been extensively using smartwatches. So when we talk about these things, these are some of the common things that we have been using in a day-to-day life. But when I talk about how long it has been evolved, so what was the fundamental background? So there is an interesting history about this wearable electronics. Look at this man. He is Mr. Steve Mann. He is referred as the man behind the wearable technology. So in the 1981, Steve Mann invented a 650 multimedia computer that can be worn on backpack, which is having the capability of photo, video, and text. So this was the person who invented this small multimedia computer with all the capability, text, video, and photo. So therefore, in some of the cases, you can say this is the man behind wearable electronic technology. If we go back in the history, then in 1961, there were two people, Edward and Klaus, and created their own version of wearable technology. Small computer, which is capable enough to fit into shoe. Can you imagine in 1961, a small computer which was capable to fit into the shoe, and that was designed to cheat in the game. That the game was how you will be able to track the ball and how it is to be identified that where it is going to land. So in 1961, right? Then in 1975, someone
Excuse me, sir.
was entering into. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir. Your voice is little breaking. Like the speaker is not clear. Yeah. There's some background noise, interruption. And can you speak now, sir?
Is it okay?
Yeah, now it's like there's some interruption in between. I think there's some problem with the mic. Yeah.
Just a minute. Is it okay now?
No, sir.
No, yet not audible?
Audible, but then there's interruption in between. The voice is cracked.
Now is it audible?
Okay, sir, better. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the point is like, if you look at the background, it is not since last decade. The wearable electronics was in picture since long, maybe before 50 years back. So wearable came into mainstream in the year somewhere around 1975, where we can say that first calculator, which can be worn on the wrist, was released, and this was one of the benchmark of wearable electronics. So somebody can say that those were for those wearable calculators, they will be knowing that usually this was the era where mainstream computers were of quite big size. Then in the year 1979, a Walkman was launched. So those who are music lovers, they know that how important that was, that a portable device that can be into battery backup device that can take the military in your pocket. So Walkman was launched in 1979, so it is just around 80s. So anybody can go with the music, and it is battery backup, so it is one of the portable device, and this was the starting of what I can say like wearable electronics. So there were many companies those who have introduced this Walkman, and naturally the companies who are involved in this Panasonic, Sony, these are the companies who are introducing this Walkman series, different categories of Walkman series. So, this was one of the revolutionary things in the industry, particularly those who are using it, they know how good it was. Then in the year 1994, again, Steve Mann, the Canadian researcher, he has developed a wireless webcam. So we have been using wireless webcams since last few years. But can you imagine in the year 1994, the same person, Steve Mann, introduced wireless webcam. Although it was very bulky, but it was fulfilling the purpose of futuristic IoT technology, right? Then in the year 2003, at the University of Washington, a successful case study was determined for wearable GPS technology. Then in the early 2000s, we can say the wearable technology found its groove in mainstream. So there were introduction of Bluetooth headsets, then different smartwatches was introduced. Then in the year 2013 onwards, we have been using it quite extensively. Google Glass was introduced, and in the 2015 Apple Watch was introduced. Right. So since 2013, we have been using all the conventional wearable electronics in our day-to-day life. So why is it important to know the history? Because without knowing the history, you will not be able to look further, right? If I can focus on the technology, you can clearly see that there are different kind of technology available. The technology which is available in the form of
Excuse me, sir.
Available in the watch.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir. Sorry to interrupt again. So maybe we can try without the mic.
Without microphone?
Like without the, you can remove the headset and try, because it's very disturbing. Like your voice is breaking.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Is it audible now?
No, sir. I guess the problem is with the headset. Maybe you can try without that.
No, I have just removed it.
Okay, but still the voice is cracking.
Voice is cracking yet. Let me check it out. The other option of connectivity then. Maybe there may be. Is it audible now?
It's clear now.
Okay. So let me present the screen again.
Yeah, sure.
Is it audible clearly?
Yes, sir. Now it's very clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So yes. So what I was talking is like the technologies are available in different form, different platforms are available for wearable technology. So as you can clearly see that it has been evolved like anything. The main application of this wearable electronics nowadays is in healthcare as well as in different Fitbits which are available, smartwatch. So these are some of the glimpses which are highlighted in these two images. On the left hand side, you can see that there are different wearable rings available, watch available, glasses available, and on the right hand side, we can see that there are different technology which can be fitted for health monitoring. So if you just look at this on a human body, where this electronics can be fitted. So right from the head to right to the toe, you can have glass, you can have watch, you can have ring, bracelet, belt, pants, shirt, sock, shoes, and fingers. So everything can be converted into smart devices provided it has got enough connectivity. Just now we are facing the problem of connectivity. So everywhere that there is an appropriate connectivity, and portability is one of the key issue, right? So if you look at right from the top to bottom of human body, everywhere you can fit this smart devices, smart technology, smart wearable things. This is a small picture which highlights that usually you can integrate each smart devices to different places of your body. So it may be your clothing, it may be your eyeglass, it may be earbuds, it may be your tattoos, it may be jewelry, it may be wristband, it may be to shoes, it may be to your ankle. Now, if you focus on your human body, there are 3 different layers on which you can do this thing. One is close to the body, another is onto the body, and third one is inside the body. Usually, the close to the body is the thing which we are day-to-day using in a wireless communication. Onto the body, that means we are fitting something, we are wearing on it, and inside the body, particularly in medical industry, there are certain diagnostics which can be done by inserting some electronics inside the body. So this is the diagram on the left hand side. It highlights that smart implants, smart pills are also one of the things which people are using in advanced medical terminology, dental treatment. So these are the things where the smart devices are integrated inside the body. On the body, we have a lot many things which can be done. It may be ranging from hearing aids. It may be ranging from hearing aids to EEG, ECG, EMG, 3D motion sensor. And outside the body, it may be ranging from controllers, smart watches, and all the things that we have been discussing since long, right? When we talk about this human body or wearable electronics, there are 3 things that we need to understand. The W-band, that is wireless body area network. So there are many gadgets that you can wear on the body. Once you are wearing those gadgets or smart devices, it needs to be connected with the outer world. It needs to take the input, and it needs to process it, and it needs to provide some meaningful output. So there should be a connectivity layer. So overall, this is divided into 3 parts. One is W-band layer, that is wireless body area network layer, then connectivity layer, and finally there is a service layer. So you can use any of your devices which can be connected to your Wi-Fi, it can be connected to your home server, and through that it may be connected to the outer world, and that outer world may be related to any of the emergency services. It may be weather forecasting, it may be doctors, it may be any of the outer services, right? So this was the thing before a decade, we can say before 5-7 years, we used to have 3G connectivity. Now the same diagram can be enhanced with the 4G connectivity. So it can be again reframed like this, that we have intra-band communication, then inter-band communication, and beyond band communication. So in case of intra-band communication, we have signals like ECG, EEG, then we have temperature, noise sensor, and we have all the things which we are frequently monitoring due to our continuous health monitoring, like SpO2, blood pressure. These things are connected with your, again, the server, or maybe your wireless communication with the help of cell phone or with the help of any of the server. You can again go beyond this, that is beyond band, that is you can connect with the end users, and that has to be a feedback mechanism. So why feedback mechanism is important? Because with the help of feedback, you may be able to rectify some of the things from your end. So this is the broader outline, that how technology is involved whenever you are talking about wearable electronics. Each wearable electronics is having important component of sensors. Without sensor, nothing is possible in case of wearable electronics, right? So which are the kind of sensor that you usually integrate on any of the wearable devices? So there are some of the common sensors that which are listed. It may be ranging from accelerometer, proximeter, spectrometer to gyroscope. It may be camera, it may be your brightness, it may be your compass, microphone, then infrared LED, photodiode, photoreflective, temperature. Then coming to the medical devices, it may be blood pressure, electrodes, ECG, EEG, EMG, respiration, maybe for tracking of location, GPS, RFID, ultrasound, ultraviolet, optical sensors, and some of the conventional sensors like humidity, pressure, weight, thermometer, magnetic coil, and some of the advanced sensors which may be included like fiber sensor, textile sensor. So there is an endless list of sensors. So one of the important and primary component of any of the wearable electronics is sensors. Without sensor, our wearable electronics is of no use. So the design of sensor, the compactness, portability of the sensor is utmost and primary requirement of any of the wearable electronics. So whenever we talk about any of the wearable electronics, how does everything is going to process inside? So it is as good as a conventional computing system. It is as good as any of the conventional computing system. So any of the wearable electronic device require basic necessity of power. It has got certain set of input. It has got certain set of input which can be processed, and it has got certain set of memory. Usually, this memory is also interconnected with some of the hard drives, and at the same time, you can also have meaningful output. This output in terms of your visual, maybe in terms of some audio connectivity, or maybe in terms of text. So output, maybe you can have some display, right? Maybe some of the audio assisted output, or it may be a text output. Similarly, at the input side, we may have some of the information might be text input, it may be a audio input, or it may be some visual input, which can be possible. So this is the broader outline that any of the device which is having wearable electronics, which is performing some computation, having this basic bare minimum components. Now, when we talk about sensors, how the information is being fetched, how the data is being fetched from the sensor. So that is one of the important aspects. Whenever we talk about technology, the fetching of information from the sensor and data fetching is one of the vital information, because you may need the data to be sensed in a fast rate, or maybe at a medium rate, or maybe at a smaller rate, depending on the kind of application that you are using. So there may be some physical phenomenon, and that physical phenomenon might be sensed by the sensor. Once it is sensed, it needs to be signals needs to be conditioning. Then sampling, that is one of the important things. How frequently you are sampling those information. Then there is a requirement of conversion from analog to digital. Then interfacing with the microcontroller and processing by the microcontroller. So whenever you deal with any of the parameter which is to be sensed, that is a physical parameter which must be sensed by the sensor. It needs to be conditioned by the signal conditioning module. It needs to be sampled. Once it is sampled, it needs to be converted to appropriate digital format, and then it is to be given to the microcontroller. Once it is available in the microcontroller, it will be processed, and then it will be outputted. So this is how you will be able to get the information from the physical ambience, right? And it will be sensed by the corresponding sensor. These are some of the glimpses which I have highlighted. Whether you talk about any smart bracelet, smart watch, or Fitbits. So what exactly the process is being done inside these devices? So I have just highlighted some of the function of some of the basic devices. Like function of any bracelet is to take the raw data from the sensor. Once it is taking the raw data, what is it supposed to do? It is to be processed, and after processing, it needs to generate a report. And where it is to be displayed, the number of steps taken over a period of time, it should be displayed on the display devices. So what exactly happening inside it? So sensors which are available in the bracelet is usually tracking motion with enough intelligence to distinguish between the steps which you are taking, right? So once that is identified, your sensor is going to give you appropriate process, and it will be going to give you output. One of the common examples that we usually find is for accelerometer, which measures the change in the speed. So basically, accelerometer which deals with this kind of task. So it is basically identifying the change in the speed. So the same is available in Fitbit as well as in the popular wristband. So accelerometer is basically a common sensor which is used in most of the wearable electronics, right? So maybe your movement of arm, leg, or body motion, it will be detected by the accelerometer, and then the change is sent to the main processor as an input, and from that it will be processed and calculate such differences and identify that how much calorie you have won, how much distance you have walked, and other useful information. Maybe it may be related to your distance, maybe related to the calorie burn, or maybe related to the appropriate measurements. So usually this information is common. The processing mechanism is common. The information which is to be received by the sensor, so corresponding sensor must be attached to that wearable device. So some of the other sensors which are also genuine one and used in most of the wearable devices. So we already listed that pressure sensor, temperature sensor, position and humidity sensor. These are the common sensors which are usually available, such as compass, GPS, gyroscope to detect the movement. Some of the sensors which are used in medical applications, which are very useful for measurement of blood flow, pulse, blood pressure, blood oxygen level, muscle movement, body fat, and body weight. Most successful wearables are those that use algorithm to process the raw data from the sensors and produces some meaningful output. Each of the wearable device require important aspect of communication. That means input and output. It needs to be communicated properly. So wearable electronics must be able to communicate with the outside world. Without communicating with the outside world, it is of no use. So there are two ways that you can do the communication, and most probably you will be finding that the preferred communication mode is wireless communication. So when we talk about wireless connectivity, there are different options available, different protocols available. So whether your wearable device is compatible with the protocol or not. So depending upon the compatibility, you will be connecting the wearable device to the wireless world. So it may be through different protocols of wireless connectivity, right? So what are the different tasks which are performed by the wearables? So by and large, when you talk about these wearables, why we are finding it is more convenient, because that wearable electronics are going to prolong for consistent grid connection. That means usually the wearable devices are taking the power consumption which is of very miniature. What are the common tasks which are performed? So common tasks which are performed by these wearable devices are data acquisition, live monitoring and feedback, computing the power, and grid connection along with the appropriate communication. So when you have any wearable device, any wearable electronic device, these are the bare minimum functionality or bare minimum task it should be performing. Now, whenever we talk about data acquisition, sampling rate is also comes in picture. So depending upon the sampling rate, depending upon the application, you may set the sampling rate. You may set the sampling rate. When we talk about this task, one of the important requirement for any wearable electronics is power. On the right hand side, you are able to see that different display wristband are shown. So you can see that each device has got different screens, right? Different interactions can be shown in the different size of the display. So almost all the wearable devices now supports video as well as display, or maybe a touchscreen option is also available. So you can say that a significant challenge for such small devices is ease of use, whether it is user friendly, whether it is providing efficient use of each and every functionality which are available. So high resolution display is one of the constraints. Whether you are having multiple functionality, whether you will be able to change it with ease of the changing functionality is available or not, whether it is providing a real look or not. You might be looking for reading a temperature, but whether it is showing the temperature in appropriate mechanism or not. You are interested in looking at the heart rate, whether it is showing the appropriate heartbeat or not. So the look as well as the easiness of the operation is one of the integral part. Then we talk about the maintaining the usability. So you may have different font size, you may have different display module, whether the font size as well as whether there are different information and pop-up information, they are sufficient enough, they are visible enough for the user to use it properly or not. When we have multiple functionality, power consumption is also one of the important aspects. So managing the power consumption of this device is also one of the major motivating factor for all the leading manufacturers in the world. So to do that, what they do is they use low power alternatives. Particularly, they use e-ink and e-paper compared to color LCD and OLED displays. So most of the time, whenever we go for a conventional display, there are LCD screen or maybe you can have OLED. But this LCD and OLED are not preferred when we have wearable electronics. Instead of that, they prefer to have e-ink and e-paper display. As many of these electronic devices must be powered by rechargeable batteries, so you need to identify appropriate charging methods. It may be through, mostly maybe through USB charging, which is usually a faster charging. Once it is fully charged, it may be lasting for 2 to 3 days. So wireless power transmission is one of the emerging and key feature of any of the integrated and wearable devices. So whenever we talk about these devices, there are lot many challenges and lot many things are to be done. So when we talk about the usage is being done by the different individuals, let's say somebody is using, a sports person is using, it may have some different usage. Athletic is using, it may be having some different usage. A swimmer is using, it may be having some different application. So waterproofing of this such kind of devices is also one of the important aspect that people or manufacturers are working on it. So there are devices which are waterproof devices and they are working very faithfully. So when we look at these wearable devices, you will find that there are lot many improvements in the technology done in the recent past. Particularly in the last 5-7 years, you will be finding that a lot of improvement in the technology is done. So one of the common thing that you and me are all doing is improvement in size. So as we all know that size improvement is possible only and only because of the multiplication factor of the transistor integration technology. So as we know that most of the time, usually we are in position to double the integration of the transistor usually in 2 years. And recently, you may be knowing that again the law of Moore's is also proving right that every 2 years the integration rate is doubling. So since the inception of that law is presently also being fulfilled. Then battery technology has also improved a lot, because whenever we are using these wearable devices, the long-lasting battery and the improvement in the battery technology has allowed us to use it for longer period of time. Lower power devices is also one of the things. That means whatever functionality are used, they are consuming a very less power, and therefore they are not getting heated up. So power requirement, battery technology, size improvement, these are the 3 fundamental things. Portability is of course indirectly part of the improvement in size. Memory requirement is also one of the things that even a small module is supporting huge memory. Many of the devices are also supporting with hard drives, which will improve the computing facility, and it will not only improve the computing facility but also enhances the speed of operation. Better and appropriate sensors. You see that medical diagnostic have been improved only and only because of these sensors. So the sensor technology have been improvising exponentially, and therefore it has been possible for the medical technologies, medical diagnostic to do wonders in this. So all this eventually resulted into a better world and better electronic wearables. So this is a table which I'm just keeping you open for mentioning the different technology and various application examples. So most of the technology which are using hard drives, which are available in smartwatches, glasses, and fitness tracker. Processors are usually available in smartwatches, glasses, fitness tracker, as well as Bluetooth headset. Batteries are usually available in almost all the devices. Speakers are usually available wherever we talk about Bluetooth headset and headphones. Microphones are available in glass, smart glasses, as well as Bluetooth headset. Keyboards and buttons are available in most of the devices, and as well as LCD screens are also available in most of the devices. It may be LCD, it may be any of the devices. Maybe the devices which are usually available are using e-ink, e-paper. One of the conventional and common things that you have been using is wearable and IoT. Although IoT has the terminology introduced in recent past, but most of the things nowadays, whatever we are talking about wearable electronics, they have indirect use of Internet of Things, because each and every data are connected with the outer world, either with the help of cloud, or maybe with the help of your smartphone, or maybe with the help of any wireless devices. So one can say that wearable electronics are a subset of Internet of Things. So as we know that IoT is the migration of Internet beyond the people. For example, the use of smartphone or watch to remotely unlock a home, control the thermostat, and either arm or disarm the security system from anywhere in the world. So you know that IoT is giving you all kinds of options that you can do anything from a remote place. Similarly, you can also do something remotely from the wearable devices. So a smartwatch can be pre-programmed to turn up the heat on cold morning and turn down the heat at the night. So all sorts of options are available. So I can say that all the wearable electronics are, by and large, they are the part of wearable IoT. One of the important things of any kind of IoT is Internet protocol. So when we talk about Internet protocol, usually it uses the Ethernet, or maybe a flow of information is controlled, right? So if you look at this IP protocol, it has got capability to communicate with every other IP devices. So only requirement is you should have Internet protocol. You need to have IP addresses. Once you have the IP address, you will be able to communicate with anywhere in the world, provided the other device IP address is known to you. So there are different things that you can directly connect with the IoT, provided you are having the IP address of the other devices. So by and large, there are different protocols available, different things which are available where you can control this thing. So firewall, password, and other security measures control what devices which are communicating. So wearable electronics, by virtue of IP address, they can join the IoT world, right? One of the biggest advantage of this IoT is that it is a standalone devices and it can communicate to anywhere in the world. So you can also control any of your home appliances with the help of your wearable devices. Now coming to challenges. Now whenever we talk about the technology, a technology is always having a lot many challenges. And these challenges are not one, there are a lot many challenges that are available. So when we talk about this, the devices are very portable and compact. So smaller wearable devices are having one of the biggest problems is integration of these devices and packaging of smaller devices in a small or single module. So you can see that if you refer this smartwatch, it has got almost around 15 main components, and all are to be integrated in a small packaging. So when you look at this, it has got a USB, micro USB port, V2B connector, it has got FPC connector, it has got hard reader, it has got shields, it has got custom cables, it has got battery connection, it has got sensors, and a lot many things are available. So one of the important challenges is that how to integrate all small components in a single package, right? So smartwatch components are just highlighted in this figure. So all these components are to be integrated in one small package, and that is one of the biggest challenge that manufacturers are facing. Another thing is that whenever we talk about this portable devices, usually they carry the antenna. So usually the molded interconnected device MIDs are the best option that nowadays available. So antennas can be directly integrated into small components which are inside the overall device. So emerging antenna technology which allows us to press the ground plane and shading to be integrated into the single MID module. So these are the different components which are highlighted, having antenna interconnected in a single module. One of the most important challenge for wearable devices is ruggedness. As I said that the ruggedness has got lot many dependency on the application. For example, if you are using the medical wearable devices or any wearable devices for sports purpose, for cycling purpose, for soldier, they all have a different ruggedness requirement. So basically, you can say it is a concept which is a relative concept and can only be determined or defined in terms of the application. So depending upon the application, you need to identify the ruggedness of the wearable electronics. So ruggedness requirement for heart monitor are different from those of activity monitor worn by cyclists. Soldier wearable operates on an entirely different level of ruggedness, requiring wider temperature ranges, and better shock and vibration resistance. Making this wearable electronics more resistant to environment hazards will make the devices more reliable and easier to use. So one can easily say that certain degree of waterproofing is also available by providing USB splash-proof modules having rubber cover. So waterproofing devices, wearable devices are available, and this is possible with the help of splash-proof USB port and with rubber cover. So partial waterproofing, one can say, it is provided. So designers are also looking for close opening in the device, right? So there is IP61 and 68, which are the devices which are designed for waterproofing. So IP is ingress protection. So ingress protection is the technology which is used, which provides this waterproofing as well as also providing the robust design. So these are the two modules which are going to provide appropriate waterproofing and also provide appropriate design. When we talk about waterproofing, it is not going to disturb your display look. It is not going to disturb your display look. One of the important challenge for any of these wearable electronics is wireless charging. So wireless charging, it is also one of the important topic for almost all the researchers, and many research has been done on it, and various effective wireless charging mechanism is also available in the market. So batteries can be charged without direct electric connection. That is what we refer as wireless charging. So basically, what is the technology? It is also sometimes referred as inductive charging, which uses the induction coil in the charging unit and electronics to charge the device. The electromagnetic field created by the charging coils allows the energy to be transferred to the receiving coil, which acts as a transformer. So what are the advantages that we usually get by wireless charging? So increases the durability, no wear and tear. When we have wireless charging, it increases durability, no wear and tear. It increases the reliability, no connector port which is required, easy to use, freedom of the design, and longer life. So wireless charging is one of the convenient options for almost all of us because of this so-called various and plenty of advantages. If I can focus on the application of this wearable device, many of us are already knowing that we are using as Fitbit, smartwatch, glasses, AR and VR, but application is not limited to that. Applications are enormous application, right? From infotainment, which is usually used in entertainment, covers music, photo, video, and redirection, emails, etc. Activity tracking, that is nowadays we are using for identifying how much distance that you have covered, sleeping, heart rate monitoring, food consumption, and lot many other things that tracks your day-to-day activity. Health monitoring is also one of the common things that we have been using. It is used to diagnose some of the irregularity of your health and gives the appropriate message to the wireless communication to the concerned medical professional. Industrial and enterprise applications are also possible, particularly the centers which are available, which is providing the application in wrist-one testimony, provide real-time data, including monitoring the factory process and updating warehouse stock through the help of smart glasses bands, expected to receive rapid adoption for the remote place workplace. In case of a defense system, that can also be included the application of wearable electronics. I'll be showing one of the picture of this defense personnel where it will be highlighted clearly. Application sectors. So there are almost all the sectors which are including the wearable electronics is applying to that sectors, right from military, healthcare, academic, agriculture, entertainment, consumer, finance, athletics, and retail. So it is not new that you can integrate any of this thing to any of the sector. Only thing is you need to just identify the appropriate mechanism of appropriate sensors. Once discussing this application, let us now focus on what is trending right now and what will be the future trend of this wearable technology. Right. So what is trending now is smartwatches. We all know that almost 7 out of 10 people are using the smartwatch or wearing the smartwatch. So smartwatches are likely the most commonly known and most commonly used wearable technology in a day-to-day life, which is having a connecting of smartphone. A smartwatch is basically connected with any of your smartphone or smart devices and provides us all sorts of daily information through smartwatch. There are a lot many players. I'm not going to name it, but there are a lot many players who are developing this smartwatch, which also include different medical parameters. Smart jewelry. Smart jewelry is one of the upcoming as well as trending thing, and in near future we will be finding instead of smartwatch, people with smart jewelry, smart ring, smart bracelets, smart pendants, smart bangles. So smart jewelry is logical conclusion of ongoing research which was took place recently, and therefore it has been integrated. Only thing required is integration of sensors, right? The most prominent kind of smart jewelry as of 2020 might be the smart ring, right? So this is one of the common thing that you find that in near future smart jewelry, which will be the common thing which people will be wearing in the form of bangles, bracelet, rings. Smart clothing. Now this is one of the things that people will be presently, particularly the sports people, athletic people are using, but in near future you may find that common people or average people will be using smart clothing. So you can see that on the right hand side that the cloth material, fabric, textile material are having different sensors integrated on the cloth itself, which can be measuring your oxygen level, it can measure your blood pressure, it can measure your heart rate, it can measure your skin temperature, it can measure your breathing rate, it can measure your activity. So all sorts of things are possible using a single cloth. So there are a lot many research going on how you can design such clothes which do not provide any discomfort in wearing and gives all sorts of data in a day-to-day life, particularly data related to your activity, data related to your medical terminology, right? So by making the contact with the larger amount of human body, smart clothing can provide deeper insight than smaller wearables. So naturally you can see a single smart cloth can perform multiple tasks, right? And it is one of the best thing that you can think of, right? So there are players like Samsung and many other companies those who are involved in commercially producing this kind of smart clothing. So a lot of research are also going on, and a lot of patents are under the process. And once it is done, you will be finding many smart clothes available in the market. So smart pants, smart shirts are to be launched very soon by the Samsung, right? And not only that, smart shoes as well as lot many things are available. So you can think of this smart shoes. So there is a company called Siren Socks, which are available, which is highlighted on this right hand side, which is going to detect your various diseases, particularly food related ulcers, and particularly the diagnostics of such diseases can be done by this kind of socks. Then there is a company called Natiac Smart Pants, which is particularly designed for identifying or performing yoga exercise. So it is a wearable yoga pants which can identify different parameters while you are doing the yoga exercise. Then there are different swimsuits available for identifying different parameters of a swimmer, and from that whether the swimmer is going to perform better in next 10 days or 15 days while preparing for competition. Such kind of things are available, and companies are already producing such kind of smart shoes, smart pants, smart swimsuits. So smart clothing is one of the upcoming things. As you can see that these are another design which is highlighted by some of the company, and it basically takes care about all your medical parameters. So what companies are targeting is that clothes should be lightweight, and it should also provide all sorts of functioning, all sorts of sensors are integrated, and it should not provide any discomforting wearing. Then fitness tracker is one of the common things that we have been using, and fitness trackers are nowadays particularly if you look at the current trends in urban areas, 5 out of 10 people are using this such kind of fitness tracker. In next 2 years, it will be 7 out of 10, and in the next 5 years, it will be around 8 to 9 out of 10 people will be using such kind of fitness tracker. Then implants. Presently, these implants are one of the important things which people are doing, and these implants are taking care of various critical care. Particularly, these implants make the context inside the user body. The initial diagram where I have shown, there are dental treatment, there are treatments which needs to be identified by some beads are inserted, having certain set of sensors. So on the right hand side, you can see that how the beads are going to work. All the steps are highlighted. So basically, a tiny silicon sensor the size of a grain salt is attached in a regular piece, and it is going to perform. Once it is dissolved, it is going to perform various tasks to identify some of the critical parameters inside the body. Right. So implants is also one of the things which medical professionals are to be doing in detail, and it can be one of the important things where people can be diagnosed for some of the diseases which are not curable easily, right? Then some of the people are also going for smart tattoos, which will be also one of the things. Tattoos are configured in such a way that it will be providing a different sensing mechanism and will be providing some of the common parameters for the human body. Then, as recent 4-5 years, we have seen that upliftment in the technology, particularly in the head mount display, which is also one of the wearable electronics. So with the advent of augmented reality and virtual reality, these head mount displays are increasing utilization in remote place, particularly in case of real estate industry. By sitting at home, I'll be able to see what is going to happen. Virtual tours are possible, and nowadays the advanced concept which is mixed reality, that is a combination of augmented reality and virtual reality. So this is also a trending thing, and it will be having increase in the technology in upcoming days. So these are the 5-6 trending technologies, and this 5-6 technologies will be very much trending so far as wearable electronics is concerned. So the point which I was talking, that how usually a police officer and security personnel can use different gadgets or wearable electronics for protecting. So Motorola is providing complete package, complete solutions for enforcement officer as well as security personnel, right from the class to belt and shoes. They are providing all sorts of different options to protect the civilians, right? So coming to the research, we know that there are a lot many research is being carried out in the wearable electronics. As I was talking about wireless charging, so wireless charging is one of the area where people are focusing their research, how to provide better efficiency in wireless charging. Presently, the efficiency of wireless charging is relatively poor. So to increase the efficiency of wireless charging is one of the biggest tasks. So that is a big area of research. Then there are some specific diseases associated with individual. So Apple has recently developed a watch which is taking care of the children with ADHD, that is particularly focusing on the disorder of hyperactivity. So that is also one of the areas people are working on ADHD, how to identify the people with ADHD, not only children but also with the all age people. If you can identify that, how or at what point of time a person is going to have some kind of conversion. So this kind of disease can be identified well in advance, and the person can be protected from the damage of any of the human parts. So that is also one of the interesting area of research which needs to have some fundamental information related to human anatomy, right? Then wearable glasses technology are available, but recently we are working on uh, the wearable glasses for the doctors, particularly when doctors are doing surgery, they need to monitor some of the parameters. So rather than distracting by looking at the other instrument, we are working on that. Why can't we display a virtual frame in front of doctors, so doctor can easily get information that these are the parameters while doing the surgery. He or she need not to look at here and there for checking out the different parameters. So we are working on it, and we have already developed the prototype for the same, and we are working on the companion for the doctors. So there will be a glass, and that glass will be providing all sorts of associated parameter in front of the doctor. So doctor will be focusing on the surgery without looking at the different instrument. Then wearable electronics along with artificial intelligence. So that is also one of the good area of research. People are working very innovative things in wearable electronics along with artificial intelligence. So that is also one of the good area of research. Then electronic safety belts, particularly for women. Safety belts are available, and the design as well as the different safety belts are already available in the market. How to integrate those safety belts with the different security personnel. So that is also one of the things that you can think of. Smart textiles, that we have just seen that clothing is one of the things that it will be booming in next 10 years or so, that you will be finding that the smart textile, how to integrate different sensors without providing any discomfort in the clothes. So that is also one of the good area of research. Smart jewelry is also one of the area of research where how you will be able to provide, or rather degrading the beauty or shape of the jewelry, how you can integrate everything inside the jewelry, whether it is a ring, bracelet, necklace, or any of the jewelry, right? So these are some of the listed area for research, which I think it will be good if you are a researcher, or if you are looking to involve yourself in research related to wearable electronics. Then these are some of the prominent areas that I can suggest from my side. What is the way ahead? Can you think of wearable electronics having a concept in insurance? Yes. So in insurance sector, it looks or it seems quite extraordinary, right? But insurance companies are also enforcing the customers to use the wearable electronics. How? So as we know that it has been wearable electronics are quite popular. So insurance companies are now interested in reducing the cost per patient, and therefore they are making an agreement that if you are buying such huge amount of insurance, then you are supposed to monitor your data, particularly medical data, on a day-to-day basis by using this wearable electronics. So this is how the wearable electronics is not only applicable to the industries or sector, but it is also involved in the insurance sector as well. So you can see basically why we take insurance, because we want to secure our life. So insurance companies are also enforcing the customer beyond certain range of insurance amount. They are making it mandatory. So it may be sooner or later it may be also applicable to the various part of India, that we will be finding that if you are going to buy an insurance, particularly in term insurance, then you should have these things. Wearable devices should be giving some constant data to the insurance company, right? So how does it work? By equipping their customer with the wearable technology, insurers can incentivize behavior to reduce the hospital admission or eliminate the unhealthy lifestyle of the individual. So this is one of the area you can think of where, right? So this is the thing where wearable technology is moving forward. So there are many insurance companies will be exercising this kind of mechanism for their clients. Fitness tracking for the employee. Let's say there are companies, those who are very much interested in the individual health or employees' health. Presently, in the time of COVID, this can be one of the area that everyone should be regularly cross-verifying their health statistics to the employer. So this is one of the area where people in future, when we say that new normal, some of the companies may enforce their employee for daily fitness report, right? So access to wearable fitness technology could become a significant work for employees who want to stay healthy and appreciate their employer support in achieving the objective, right? So it may happen that some of the corporates may ask the employees to go for regular fitness tracking. Third, and the thing is like the rise of smartwatch is the way ahead. What we are seeing in a cell phone, the same thing will be available in smaller size, maybe in the form of smartwatch, maybe in the form of bracelet. So that is also possible. Smart clothing and jewelry I already discussed. So smart clothing is also one of the things where you can easily say that that is the way ahead, and smart jewelry is also the way ahead. So that's it from my side at this moment. Before I conclude the session, I would also like to present one small video.
Sure, sir.
Please bear with. I hope you are able to see this screen, right?
Yes, sir.
He's one of the greatest football players in the world. They are 12 exceptional visually impaired individuals of different ages and diverse backgrounds. This year, they met a magical moment that changed their lives forever and left Messi speechless as he presented them with a revolutionary four-cam eye. The ability to recognize faces, to read and understand any kind of text, so they simply asked to read only what interests them.
Read the headline. Another brilliant performance. Wow.
Identifying money notes. Orientation helps you understand what's in front of you.
What's in front of me? A cup is in front of you.
Identifying products and barcodes.
I put the inside. This is a magnificent piece of technology.
Activated by voice commands, or CAM-II is the most advanced wearable assistive technology, helping to improve the lives of visually impaired people.
Or CAM-II, esto es increíble. Esto es magia.
Or CAM-II for blind and visually impaired people. Share this video to help us spread the word.
So life change.
So you can clearly see that how the technology is moving, right? So there are a lot many advancements in the wearable electronics. I wish that all the participants should, if you are working on it or if you are inclined towards it, the opportunity is enormous, and plenty of scope is available for wearable electronics. If you have any queries.
Yes, sir. With this, we come to an end. Thank you so much, sir. Attendees, if you have any questions, please write to us in the chat box. And once again, thank you to Dr. BHARGAV GORADIYA for the wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, sir. And for more of our IFERP upcoming events, do follow us on IFERP Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram pages. And if you have any questions related to our events or certificate download, please do write to us at webinar@iferp.in. Our team will get back to you at the earliest. So I hope there is no questions from the attendee side. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
So with this, we'll wind up our session. Thank you, sir. And thank you to all the attendees who have joined us today. And thank you to our academic partner, United Innovators, for joining us at our webinar. So thank you all. Good evening and good day to all.